I am always telling you about the three different clients that we all have. It doesn't matter what your business model is, it's the three different clients, right? So we have the client who's the DIY. There are low budget clients. They're usually the ones who want access to the tools, and they are going to be the ones who are going to do everything. That's our entry level offer. Then you have the done with me client who is a little bit more techy. They're a little bit more established in their business. They're able to pay a little bit more and see the value. But those clients typically want something, some type of services, maybe VA services, maybe website builds or snapshots for their own custom business, things like that, usually to help them get up and going. And then you have the next plan, which is the done for you client. And they're typically like the hands off client who's, look, I don't want to know anything about any of this and how it works. I just want someone to manage all of these things for me. What I wanted to do, because I think a lot of people struggle with this part, how do you create the three plans? How do you mix together like your special thing that you add to your business? And how do you incorporate that with your high level tools? But you also, if you're a reseller in our program, you also have the AI ads manager that you can white label and resell as well. So the goal is for you to think about these three clients, create the three plans so that you're meeting them where they are. We don't want to make 9,000 plans for every single type of client that we may have, right? I actually created this GPT and I wanted to walk you through it. I want to show you though, a full transparency, like always, I had Manus create a GPT for ChatGPT. So I was laying in bed the other night. You're gonna die when you see how cool this is. And it literally took me about 5 minutes to create. Okay. You're going to die. I know Charles is already, he's going to be geeking out. What I did is I told Manus, basically, I just picked up my phone. I was laying in bed. I was thinking about open office hours, and someone had asked about that, where I went into the three plans and I thought, I really need to have a GPT, but you can't create GPTs on Manus yet. Anyway, so I told Manus, become an expert at creating GPTs. And here's my idea, and here's what I want to do. So Manus told me, and let me screen share here. So Manus asked me the questions that I needed to know, or that it needed to know. Okay. And then after a few minutes of back and forth conversation, it said, I've completed the draft to the main instruction prompt and all the necessary knowledge files. Okay. So these assets are tailored to your My Vision Agency resellers in creating their service plans with focus on high level tools and their rebillable add-ons, because I wanted you also, because we have high level, but you also have the ability to rebill for additional options. And so I wanted you to have the knowledge of those things and the pricing so that you can create these plans and your play accounts or your own brand of play. So what it actually did is it created this prompt here. So this is the prompt for the GPT. You can see it's a really intense prompt here, but it also created all of the knowledge files. So remember, when we're building our GPTs, we can have the prompt, but then we can also upload files that it can use in this example, like high level rebilling guide, or the My Vision Agency tools that we have available, or the high level minimum advertised pricing structure, and of course the play terms. So all of these things the GPT is now going to reference. So I need one brave soul who's still struggling with coming up with those three plans. And I thought, how cool would it be if I just went through it with you guys? And I want you to think about this too. If you create this for yourself, your own business, to support your own clients, imagine if they never even saw this GPT. Imagine if I'm doing consultations with them and I am just asking them all the questions. I'm just like incognito, like I'm just talking to them. They're not seeing my screen, but I'm asking them the questions and I'm just giving the responses that they give me in the chat, like I want to do with you guys. So, who would like to discuss their three plans, or who is still struggling to come up with those three plans? Miss Martina? All right. So I want to share my screen because I want you to see the responses that I'm getting. And I'm also going to give you guys access to this GPT.
Awesome.
Okay, so let me expand or blow up my screen here a little bit because I want you to be able to see the responses. All right, so when you first get to the GPT, you're going to just click Help me create my plans. Okay, so it says, Welcome to NVA Plan Strategist. I'm here to help you design and price 3 powerful service plans, DIY, DWI, and done for you, right? That will attract a wide range of clients and position your agency for growth and profitability. To get started, I'd like to understand a few key things so we can tailor your plans effectively. So, Martina, what is your niche?
Branding.
Okay. Just branding any clients or a specific industry?
Currently, my slogan is startup and struggling entrepreneurs.
For startups and struggling entrepreneurs. Okay. And Charles loves this. Shift enter. And number 2, what is your unique expertise, Martina? So, what skills, systems, or specialized knowledge do you bring to the table, like copywriting, Facebook ads, SEO, sales funnels?
Branding, graphic design, education and training.
Education.
Would you want me to specify what the education and training is in? Basically, it's in the StreamYard platform.
Training for StreamYard. Is it StreamYard.com?
Yes,
Okay. The reason I asked that is if it's like StreamYard.com, I just wanted to know exactly what StreamYard I'm talking about.
makes sense.
So number 3, now keep in mind, you don't have to show your clients this if this is what you're doing, okay? They're just going to be wowed with the speed at which you're able to give them this info before the meeting is even done. It's insane. All right, of course, I didn't spell anything right, and that's okay. So, Martina, your tool preferences. So which high-level tools or features do you most frequently use or want to include in your service offerings?
The social media posting, the websites and funnels, the forms, and even though I don't like them, workflows.
Flows and emails, I'm sure. Email
Yes,
marketing.
the email, SMS area.
Okay.
I'm becoming more comfortable with that, yes.
Oh, and SMS. Okay. And
Oh, we didn't put communities. I love communities.
okay, so we'll say communities. All right. So do you want to include the AI Ads Manager powered by Play? If yes, would you like it available across all plans or only in the done with you or done for you?
Only with the done with you, done for you.
Okay, so I'm just going to copy this. All right. So let's go ahead and click enter and let's see what it creates. Fantastic. Thank you. You're positioned in a powerful niche. Branding for startups and struggling entrepreneurs with a strong focus on visual identity, digital presence, and education, especially around platforms like StreamYard. Your expertise in branding, design, and training, combined with tools like funnels, websites, forms, email, SMS marketing, and community building, gives us a strong foundation to create a compelling value ladder. So here's how we'll approach your 3 plans. So the DIY, do it yourself, and it even gives it a name, which I love, Starter Launch Kit. Okay, so this is ideal for bootstrapped entrepreneurs who want control and are willing to learn and implement themselves. Now, I love this because oftentimes we wonder, okay, great, we created these 3 plans, but when we're in these consultations with people or the business owner, we may be like, well, which plan is really best for them? I'm not quite sure, but this tells you clearly if they give you these answers that indicate that, hey, they're just getting started, they want control, or they're willing to learn and implement themselves, these are all things that we want to be hearing, listening to. And then when you hear I can't even think of the word I'm looking
Trigger
for.
word.
Yes, when you hear that, it should immediately say, okay, they're DIY. And then you're just going to go down that path with them. So here are the high-level core tools that you're going to implement in this plan. The funnel website builder, and it even suggests limit it to 1 to 2 projects. Okay. Basic CRM, the email marketing with capped contacts/send, which means like you don't have to give them just unlimited. You can actually cap it. Basic workflows, so maybe templates only. forms and surveys. And then it says resources, access your branded training materials or recorded mini courses, how to set up a brand using StreamYard. Okay. Template pack, Canva graphics, and all that. These are things that it suggests that you give them. So the support, email support, 48 to 72-hour turnaround. And again, this is so important because if you tell them what their support is, then it's especially, Martina, if you're doing this without any type of support, you definitely want to let them know, hey, it's going to be 48 to 72 hours for the turnaround for this plan. And that's cool to let them know because if they're like, oh, that's not going to work for me. I really need to be, somebody needs to respond to me like the same day. And then you can say, great, that package is in this plan. Okay. So
Mhm.
if you do need that type of support, then I would recommend this plan. Access to a private DIY user forum or community, and then additional add-ons, access to the AI Ads Manager, not included by default, and then add on one-to-one strategy call or setup session. So the minimum advertised pricing compliance, since this includes multiple high-level core features, the advertised price must at least be $97 a month. You can lower prices privately if needed. So then we have the Done With You plan, the Brand Builder Intensive, ideal for entrepreneurs who need expert guidance and strategic setup, but still want some control over execution. We have the What Does It Include? Expanded tool access, so more funnels and pages, enhanced automation workflows, larger CRM and email sending limits. We have the coaching and collaboration, so they suggest 2 times monthly strategy training calls, branding, StreamYard usage, campaign review, assistance with one funnel and one campaign setup, community and support, priority email, chat support, group training workshops, live or pre-recorded, and then it includes the AI Ads Manager, which you could also do a setup and monthly review report. It says you do initial strategy, they manage execution. So I love the clarity of that because that's a question that I would have if I was reading this. But do I like do the strategy? Are they doing the tool or am I doing the tool? That's what I'd want to know. So then it
Mhm.
also offers add-ons here. So additional coaching calls, ongoing campaign collaboration, the suggested price. And I love this because everyone asks this all the time. What do I charge? So start at $297 to $497 a month, depending on intensity and included service levels. Must comply with the $97 minimum advertised pricing if advertising publicly. So then you have your done for you plan, authority brand accelerator, ideal for entrepreneurs who want a complete hands-off launch and management of their brand presence. So it includes everything in the DWI plus full branding build out, custom branding package, logo visuals, brand voice guide, StreamYard overlays, and video setup support, complete platform management, funnel and website creation, multi-page, full CRM setup, email and SMS sequences, setup and automated forms, surveys, calendars integrated, content and community. So the monthly branded social media post kit, community setup and engagement workflows. You have the AI Ads Manager, which is going to be fully managed ad campaigns. It suggests Google and Meta for this plan, monthly performance reporting and optimization, and then dedicated account manager or priority access to you, monthly performance calls. The suggested price here is $997 to $2,000 plus a month, depending on depth of branding, ongoing ad budget, and amount of managed assets. So this is your premium profit plan. So price it to reflect the results you will help to deliver. So then it says, would you like me to create a branded version of this plan framework in a shareable format like a PDF copy, or would you prefer to refine any part of the structure or deliverables first? So I'll ask you, Martina.
We see. Because I am a framework person, I feel like that may be the next thing so that I can see it.
Okay. So we'll just say PDF copy. Okay, so now we have this PDF here. I wonder, because I've been using Manus so often, I wonder if it's actually, is it going to give me, oh, is that the downloaded? No, answer in chat. I was hoping it would give me like oh, let's see. Open in Canvas, share. All right, I don't think it gives me the ability though to download.
That's wild.
That's interesting. Of course, I can share this chat with you.
Hmm.
That's not a big deal, but I just wonder why. Let me ask it. Can I download this PDF? Yes, you can generate a downloadable PDF for you. One moment while I prepare it. All right, good to know. For desktop users. Oh, open the print. Oh, okay. So it's telling me, yes, I can generate it.
Where do I typically get mine? I'm looking.
Huh.
I'll normally, what do I normally do? Click share,
Yeah.
the share button. Oh no, that just gives you the link.
Yeah. Let's try this. Obviously, I could
Oh, it
copy.
said PDF copy too when you, or yeah, normally I'll
Yeah.
either click the share button or the copy.
Yeah, when I've done it before, it's put a little link there and I click on the link for the PDF. Typically, I don't do the PDF because I like to make my own from Google. I
Yeah.
pull everything in Google and then add my branding to it, and then I save it as a PDF over in Google. So that's interesting that it asked for a PDF and it didn't give you a little link.
Yeah, that's weird. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just share this with you, Martina, and then you can check
Okay.
that out. And then obviously all you'd have to do is literally copy, paste into a document, download as a PDF. But let me share this with you so that you can check that out. And I
Yeah,
want
the
to show you.
ability to give it that little bit of information and it to break it down into a format that now you can go and process out through your course is a game changer because it really takes what you're thinking and how you want to be able. I'm sorry, I hear an echo. It breaks down what it is that you're trying to think and how to put it into a templated format so that you can actually put it on a web page because it's
Yeah.
in your head, but it's all jumbled up, how to break down your process.
Yeah. And I love too with this because I was playing around with it a little bit. And what I love is if you said in here, let me share my screen again. Let's say that you said, what is the cost of each of those plans to me? So it's saying, and that is a question everyone asks as well, because
Mhm.
obviously, if you're creating your plans and HighLevel can be sometimes super confusing because it's okay, if I add in WordPress, then what is that actually costing me? Now, here it's saying that your estimated cost per plan tier, but let's say here first, what HighLevel plan are you on? Which plan are you on, Martina? This one? Are you on this one, Martina?
Sorry, I am. Yes, I'm on the 297.
So I'm going to say that you're on this one. What tool cost do you personally incur for? Okay, so we'll say 0. And then what is your hourly value or estimate of your time worth, especially for done for you tasks? So let's just say $200 an hour. And let's go ahead and click. All right, so it says DIY starter launch kit, HighLevel platform costs. Basically, it's assuming you onboard 10 clients, that's 297 divided by 10 equals about $30 a client per month. No AI ads manager. Support time minimal, mostly email or forum. Let's estimate 15 minutes per month, $50 worth of time. Estimated total monthly cost per client, about $80, mostly time and share of the platform. The Done With Me plan, HighLevel platform, about $30 client, your time, about 2 times the calls per month, plus light setup equals 3 hours is $600. You guys, this is insane. This is so insane. And I wish that I could take credit for this. It was really just my idea. And Manus wrote all of this out for me and all the knowledge. I had it like pull up the MAP for HighLevel, all of the add-ons, all of the pricing for each of the HighLevel tools so that you could actually get this information without doing a bunch of digging around here. So I think this is absolutely amazing. So you can see
I
all of
think
that.
it's really important also, Bridget, because what it's showing you is a lot of the leaders that are out here are saying, hey, double your prices, just double your prices. And they're not giving you what that actual value is for the time commitment. They're just saying double your prices. And so people are really suffering from imposter syndrome because they're hearing the people who are saying they're gurus say double your prices, but inside them internally, they're trying to figure out what is the constitution for that? What does that really mean for how much more value I feel like I have to throw into this to be able to justify that price, not realizing they're already underpriced anyway. So to break that down and to be able to see those numbers really clarifies and helps an individual come up out of imposter syndrome, in my mind, from what I'm looking at, because now you can see what constitutes that price increase. Now it makes sense.
Yeah. And you can also see why people always say, you're not going to become a millionaire charging $97 for your full suite of high-level tools, because you can see here your actual cost when we include support and all of those things, it's saying $80 and the suggested price is $97, but you're only making about $17 a month for that client.
Wow, that's
But
good.
what makes it great is you can upsell those people. So usually we know, because we do this all the time, when we purchase a new software or whatever we do, we usually start out at the very bottom. And then as we see the value, then we go ahead and upgrade to the additional plans. So this is really the only purpose of this right here, is just to get them in the door, get them familiar with the tools, and then our main goal should be to upgrade them to one of these two plans. But I do love how it includes the time breakdown as well, because a lot of us don't think about that. Let's say here, what if I want to add WordPress hosting to the DIY plan? What would the cost be? Great consideration. Adding WordPress plan to your DIY plan can enhance value for clients who want full website control. And then you have the standard cost to you, the agency, which is $20 per month for a WordPress site. It's available only on the Unlimited and Agency Pro plans. And it says you're unlimited because it remembers that question it asked you what plan you're on. Revised cost breakdown for the DIY plan with WordPress hosting. The HighLevel platform share, about $30 a month. WordPress hosting, $20 per site per month. Your time, about $50 email/knowledge base. And then total cost per client for this plan would be $100 a month. So you can see now that it exceeds the MAP threshold, and then it gives you the two pricing options. So advertise as a bundle, advertise at $97 per month. It's crazy. That's so cool, right?
Need to be the emoji with the mind blown
I,
right now.
I know it's almost just too much to take in. If you guys want access to this, I've added this to, and I have updated my training GPT. So if you guys didn't know, I do have my own custom GPT, where if you're looking for any of my training that I've ever done, you could just go here and it opens up a GPT. You can suggest a video. Let's just say I want CSS. I want a training about CSS, and it will actually look through a whole list of all of my videos in the description, and it will look for CSS, and then it'll give you a list of all the videos that I've done in regards to CSS.
So the information for the case study that you just did on me, I see the link over here. Does it also include the additional information that you just prompted it? Or would I need to mirror that when I watch the replay of this?
I don't know. That would be a good thing to check and see, but I can also give you this other.
And I'll compare
Here's the
them.
link again. Yeah, try it and let us know, because that's a good question.
Definitely will. Thank you. And thank you for this. Really brings a lot of clarity to what I've been struggling with, how to actually make that make sense for myself and for my clients.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like I was saying, like, a lot of us do these consultations with clients, and we're really asking, especially Martina being in branding and things like that, you're asking these same questions over and over again to get more information. And then, of course, we want to give them that brand report or whatever it is that we're creating. We want to give that in a digestible format. So being able to, like, you saw how easy and fast that was for me to go through it. And obviously, I would be a lot more attentive and everything with you and ask you more questions. But having the ability to do that in the consultation without even sharing my screen at all, and just ask those questions and then copy, paste into a PDF, print, and then now you have this professional, well thought out, very quick report that answers all of your questions.
And to your value, you've taught us how to create chat GPTs as well. So when we're actually going through our own SOP and being able to now create a chat GPT to help us with walk through our SOP is crazy good. So yeah, you'd be able to build in a little bit more value in your questions for yourself than we're available to show here, but I appreciate that. Hopefully someone's paying really close attention to how much more they can do with just that little bit of information you just gave.
Yeah. Yeah, because what are just Martina, what are some other ways? Because I know you probably have 10 things in your head right now where you're like, oh my gosh, I could create it for that and that. What are some other ideas that you came up with that you think that this would be a good strategy?
Well, the first thing that came into mind, even when I saw you put play up there, is the questions that need to be asked of clients who are interested in and who've never done before ads on any level. I think that's one thing that we have to be okay with asking so many questions because it does provide a window for them to see this is not just about, hey, I want to run an ad. This is actually about being very precise with the type of ad that I want to run so that I can get the most value out of the money that I'm about to put into it. So that was the first thing that came to mind is how many questions do I need to create that will get as much information out of the client before I even start running an ad, before I even set up the graphics. I have to be able to understand as clearly as possible the content. So that's one of the ways that I see that can be very impactful when I'm thinking about designs and things that I need from the clients as far as what exactly they're looking for in a logo or what exactly they're looking to have the steps of their funnel. Like you said, my mind is sitting over here going crazy with the amount of information and questions that I ask repeatedly so that I can give them a deliverable. I can see this being very powerful over there.
Yeah, because essentially, like just using that example, you could give it like all of the questions you normally ask and say, these are all the questions that I normally ask. Now I need you to help me create a custom GPT that will assist me when I am in consultations with
Mhm.
these types of clients to ensure that I'm gathering all the deliverabilities that we have discussed, the strategies, and make sure that I'm on point and suggest anything that maybe I have missed. And then, of course, at the end, you can say, generate a printable PDF. You'd have to play with it to get it to do that, but generate a printable PDF that I could then share with my client or something to that nature. But yeah, that's crazy.
And even being able to handle the timeliness of what it is that you're trying to get the client to see. We have to have this by this time in order for that vendor to do their printing. And then they have to either, you got to pick it up, to be able to put all of that into the standard mode of questions really gives them clarity. This is, I apologize. My dog just saw something outside.
That's okay.
Being able to provide them with more clarity on the timeline.
Yeah. Martina, I have that problem all the time, but I didn't even hear your dog. So it must,
Amazing. Are you serious?
yeah, I didn't hear it.
That is crazy. Okay, so that's really good to know. Like he is having a full-blown fit. There's something outside, a deer, a bunny, or something. I don't know. But yeah, being able to provide them with that timeline so that they can see the structure around why you ask the questions that you ask and the reason that it takes the amount of time that it takes is paramount. Yeah,
Yeah.
wow, that's really good.
Yeah. It's like having an assistant that is in the meeting with you, like in that consultation with you, and saying, make sure to ask this. Now, get this information, make sure to tell them this. And then once you do all that, I'm going to generate a report for you. And I'm right here. I'm right here. And I love that if they ask you a question and you're like, I don't know
And you
the
can type it in real quick.
yeah, you could say, what is that? Let me get that information for you. Just one second. Let me do a little bit of research. Okay, WordPress hosting is $20 a month.
Exactly. That is so good.
Yeah, I love that. It really takes all of the intimidation. And I just think you appear, of course you are, if you get to this point where you have this type of system in place, you are so prepared. But the professionalism And the preparation that your client sees on the other side is, I know that I would feel so reassured that, okay, this person is on point. This person really knows what they're doing. And I feel like I'm so in the right place.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Imagine it building the confidence muscle of even myself, the presenter or the business owner, again, who's suffering from imposter syndrome, to be able to have a tool to assist them. And like you've taught us also, you have to be able to remember, stop being afraid of the AI. The AI can't do what you don't tell it to do. It only does what you tell it to do. And it's there to make you look, like you say, more polished, more professional, more knowledgeable, and all of that. And it's not going to work without you. Like, we are the asset that it will use.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I saw this guy, and you guys feel free to raise your hand if you have a question about this or something else. We're just talking like we always do. But I saw this interview with this guy that used to work for the FBI and the CIA. He was like a body language expert, and he was talking about,
Never split the difference.
I'm sorry,
The guy that wrote Never Split the Difference.
I don't know. I
I
just
can't
saw
think of his name.
it the other day.
Okay.
He was interviewed by a real big famous podcaster who has like a English accent. I don't know, I can't remember. But anyway, I saw the interview and he was talking about, the interviewer was saying, what value, knowing someone's body language, what value do you provide with that? Like, why are you even like on this podcast? Basically, why are you being interviewed? And he was talking about the knowledge that he has gained, the knowledge from sitting in on all of these like interviews with terrorists and spies and criminals and all of that. Maybe it was Christopher Voss. But he was talking about that knowledge that he has gained in all of that experience and how he wants to share that knowledge with other people. And I just got so stuck on the word knowledge because I just feel like that's what we've all gained through our life experience, through our businesses, personal, whatever. We've all gained this knowledge, but the AI doesn't have our access to our brain. It has access to like world knowledge and the things that's put out there. But when you create your own trained custom GPT, you're giving it the knowledge that you have, that nobody else in the world has the same knowledge and experiences that you have had. So having the ability to then feed that into an AI tool, it's like cloning yourself. It's crazy. And I know I'm pretty happy about cloning myself. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I need more of me.
Yeah, exactly. Charles, go ahead.
Actually, it wasn't a question. It was just more or less in the conversation. So two things. So one, the first thing is, which of course was no surprise, I had already went to the GPT before you even started with Martina, and I was already doing it. So I finished and yeah. So then I could participate because I was doing it, and it was really cool. And then two, like you said about the knowledge piece, I really look at AI as a thought partner. So it's really about helping me think quicker. It's not that the AI knows anything. I know that sounds weird, but it really doesn't. Like, because if you know everything, you know nothing,
Yeah.
actually. And then at the end of the day, too, you can print out a beautiful plan with AI, but who's going to execute it?
Yeah.
So,
You know how it is, like when you're in meetings with clients, sometimes you're going through your normal thing that you do, and then they ask you a question, and then you're like, you have to think about that, or maybe you're not quite sure, or you just completely lose track. That's where the AI comes in, right? Because one, you're reading, it's working you through your whole conversation. So you can just go back and read it. But you could ask, if you don't know, just ask the chat because it knows everything that you know at that point. So it's just all of that is just, it's like you said, Charles, it's just faster. But it's when you get a little older and your brain doesn't work as fast as it used to, and you're like, what did you just say 2 seconds ago? Don't know what you said. That's where I love the AI. I love it. I need it to think faster than me for sure.
yeah, creating the GPTs has been like a game changer for me because, like you said, I'm on the phone with financial institutions. And so then when we're having conversations, I'm telling them based on them. And they're like, let me check. And I'm like, yeah, we check subsection. Da, 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 da. And then they check. And then they're like, okay.
Yes. Oh, that's really good too. That's a good use case.
It's in your manual. I know.
Yeah. Right.
I
I
know it's in
know
your
because I uploaded the manual to my own custom GPT so that I could ask it questions all the time.
So I already asked the question before I even called you. I just need you to do 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7
Uh-huh.
expeditiously. Those types of things really help. And then, like you said, from a confidence standpoint, because you have the knowledge, confidence is built off of competence.
Yeah. Miss Maria?
This is off topic, but on topic. I'll get to it. Okay, all that stuff online and everything, you know how the AI and all that's all virtual. I wanted to report that we have made a physical connection here, a human connection, myself and Janai. We're friends for real. She came to my house the other day.
You
So
said for real. I
the
did see
next,
those pictures. I love
I know you love it. That's why I have to tell you, Janai and I, she came over, and so she lives about 15 minutes from me.
that's
So we're gonna
awesome.
be buddy. And because she came over, now I'll take it back to AI. So she came over and I discovered an AI that you would not believe. It's blown Janae's mind. Okay. She's working on it. She's texting me. She says, I can't believe you told me this. Did you tell the group? I said, they must know about this one, but I'm going to tell you, I'll spill the beans. It's Notebook LM. And in Notebook LM, it's a Google AI, and you can literally put so much information in that once you do it, it creates, hold back, sit down, don't fall out of your chair, Martina, a podcast. It creates a podcast of your, I'm so excited. It creates, and Janai saw that. She was like, what? So I put in a whole bunch of stuff. It can hold the whole, I don't even know how much, but it's a lot. It's called Notebook LM. It holds everything. You could put all the data you wanted, these notebooks. And then at the end, you tell it to generate. And it's two people speaking about you. And they talk about you, about what your issues are, and they're very empathetic. Like in my case, I put stuff about my disability, and they're like, yeah, it could be challenging. And they're just talking, who are these people? And it's AI. The only downfall right now, they have a paid version. The free one is the one I'm using, but the paid one, you still can't change the voice. You can't, it's the same voice, everyone's using it, and then you can't add to the notebook, it looks like. I'm trying to figure it out. If someone smarter than me with the AI could tell me, because you can't add to it. And that's what I want to do. I want to take a notebook I've already created and add more data after I hear their conversation and their suggestion. They also come out with a plan. Like what you just did, they figure it out for you and they tell you, do this and do that. And it's amazing. It's amazing. It'll blow your mind.
That's awesome. It's so exciting to
Yeah.
see all of the things that are coming out. It's like those of us who've been in this game for a long time, it's like when you see all these cool things come out and you think about, oh my gosh, that's amazing because I know what it's like to do it the hard way without any help.
Yes.
So it's like those of us who have done that, we're like, what? I love it. I love
Yes, so
it.
I'm excited. So when you guys check it out, I know you're all on it right now. Notebook LM, Google, and then you put in the data, and there's some videos. There's one guy on YouTube, if I can find, I'm gonna put it in the chat. I'm gonna look for it while we're talking. That he took that Notebook LM and he used what he called, and I just learned this. It's called agents. Did you
Yeah.
know that? They're called
Yep.
agents. He took one agent, which is like Notebook LM. Then he took another agent to rewrite something. And then he took another agent that was another AI, and he used Gen, and he used like one of the other ones that create something else. And then he used another one, and then he used 5 different ones to get to the point where he became his own avatar. He used Notebook LM to speak, and then he would speak. I don't know. It was crazy. I said, this man is crazy, but it was just, I just can't. That's the best thing I've ever seen, especially the podcast. And then you can create your own podcast from that podcast. You just play it and that's it. Let them talk about whatever you talk about.
What I really want to know, Maria, is are you going to create a tutorial video about this to show
Yes,
how
I'm
cool
working on it. I'm working on it because it's very, I'm trying to wrap my head around it. I'm too excited. When I did it, I was like, if I could raise my arms in the air, I'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe this. I almost fell out of my chair. I had to come to you know what moment. It was unbelievable.
I swear, I was like that too. I'm like that with Manus all the time because I was explaining, I know in open office hours that I've applied for a trademark and I had some responses that typically people pay lawyers to respond to. But I actually
Uh-huh.
just copied everything in my trademark and the response and everything they were asking. And I said, tell me what to do. And it literally told me exactly what to do. But even then, I was like, okay, you told me to go here, but I'm not seeing that. And I just screenshot it and I said, this is what I see. And it said, oh, okay, go ahead and click here and do that and do and enter in these numbers and do this and that. And then so that was 2 different times. I would have had to pay a lawyer 2 different times, $400 to respond to these office actions from the trademark. And I didn't have to do that. AI did it for me. The responses were accepted. And now I'm waiting for my trademark to be registered.
That is so cool. That is so cool. The
Uh,
only thing I'm worried about with AI is on the floodgates of buying one, then you want to buy them all. You can't. It's too many.
yeah. But it's
I
okay
need
if we get the shiny ball syndrome a little bit when we're doing what we do, because it's all right. We just create a video. So if you do use your time to go investigate a new tool, create a video for the love of God and put it on YouTube and use those keywords. Like check out the demo of Google Notebook LM. Or is Google Notebook LM worth it? Or something like that. It's crazy because even if you don't have an affiliate link, it's what gets them to you, and then they decide, do I like this person, do I resonate with this person, and then other videos show up in their feed because they've already seen a video of you. Now they're seeing other things that you promote. So definitely do that,
going to do
especially
that.
those new things, because people are looking for those
Okay.
videos.
What you just said, I'm going to use exactly what you said because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. When I did it, it completely blew my mind. I couldn't add enough information fast enough so I could see what the podcast would do. And then I said, oh, darn, I forgot to add what you told me. Remember that little thing you sent me? I
Yeah.
added what you said, and you're in the podcast now because it said, and Bridget said, and it says your name.
I love it.
It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. I'm looking
Yeah.
for it now. I'm gonna send it to you guys.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It says, yeah, it's called 12 Notebook LM Use Case You Won't Believe. So I'm gonna send that to you.
Cool.
Guys, I'm just excited. When I find something, I get super
I
excited.
know. I do too. That's why I do this, because it's just so fun.
Yeah.
Manolo, how are you today?
Doing great yourself.
Good.
I'm glad. Listen, I wanted to ask you if you have noticed that now on workflows, you can add ChatGPT questions and answers, replies from ChatGPT. You can actually integrate ChatGPT to questions with clients and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. But I saw it somewhere. I didn't quite work that out. I wonder if you have used it or if you're going to use it to tell us how we could integrate it to our workflows.
Yeah, it's been there for a while. The I don't use it too much, honestly, because I've used lots of AI tools, and I feel like where HighLevel was lacking with the AI is what they actually just came out with, is that knowledge base where you can use the chat GPT and the AI, but you always want to have that memory. The key is really the memory to remember previous conversations and things like that. And until recently, we didn't have that option. But I am really excited about a workshop that's coming up, and they're teaching a strategy that I think is super cool, and it has to do with that. So I am planning some training to show you how to utilize that step in ChatGPT within the workflows. So it's coming.
Great. And
Good.
since you mentioned that, I came across this tool and I saw a demo from a Go HighLevel user. And I wonder if you had checked it out. It's called geteverbots.com. It's a voice integration AI that talks like human and jokes and like just throwing that tool out there to see if you care to look into it. That's all.
What is it called?
Geteverbots.com. I put the link on the
Mm.
chat. You
Get
can check it out.
Everbots?
get server bots.
And what is the function of it?
Okay, it could actually answer the phone for you and use different calendars at the same time. It could set appointments, change appointments, everything with voice, which is very natural.
Mm.
And it's very natural. You could choose the voice and everything. You, of course, you got to feed it everything about your business, but it's extremely natural how it speaks. But I'm just throwing out this to see if you care to look into it. That's all. Yeah.
So I try to only look into things. It's like I practice what I preach. So I try to only
Yeah.
look into things that I have a use for. And the reason is because we all know we could go down these crazy rabbit holes or we could investigate every cool tool that comes out. And it is so tempting to do that. But tools are just tools unless you have a use case. And to really understand a tool and its functionality and what it's capable of doing and the pros and cons, you have to like actually implement it first. And so that's why man, there's so many cool things that I would love to show you guys to use and all of that. But if I'm not using it, I just don't feel like I have enough knowledge about it to give you like a really good idea. Sometimes I'll bring things up. Somebody said that they're using this, but to do an actual tutorial video, I really have to dive into the tool. And that's usually why if you see me like come out with a new tool that I'm talking about or showing you, I usually do like a whole week's worth of training. And that's simply because it takes a whole week to get through like really every aspect of it. But I also have to dive into it and learn all the things so that I can do that training. So it's kind of time consuming. I also am a little bit hesitant about always talking about new things because I don't want you guys to experience the same thing that I did when I was starting out and everybody'd say, "Oh, you need this great new tool." And it's because everything's sales when we're online, right? Everything's sales. There's always some webinar they want you to register for and something else that they want you to buy. And that's not my jam. I don't want to be that person. So I love to do the tutorials. I love to say, hey, this is a great tool. But I get actually more excited in showing you like, hey, if you're trying to do this because you're using this tool and you're paying this much money, you can actually do that with this tool that you already have, and you don't have to pay that much money.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
And I do the fact that you check out the tools first. That's what I'm
Yeah.
bringing it to you. Because when we're talking, Charles always has an issue with answering calls
Yeah.
from when he's on the phone.
Yeah.
This tool will do that, and it will get your voice and answer different calls at the same time and use different calendars and make changes. That's what I wanted you to look at. Would you want me to give you a link of the video I saw? You could say no.
I mean,
Um,
I would say you could put
It's
it in the chat because what Bridget is saying, she doesn't really have a use case. I can speak on phones. She doesn't really use phones, so she really wouldn't.
okay. Okay.
But you can put it in the chat. When I was listening to you talk, the thing I was thinking to myself is, how is that what you were saying different from voice AI that GHL currently already has? And the issue that you were talking about that I have switched to the voice AI. There are a couple of issues, but all in all, it gets the job done, right? It's not like my issues are like a really unique situation in that regard. But I think for most things, like it works the way that it should. And again, like I said, 90% of the time, I'm happy with whatever's going on with it. And it does pick up multiple calls because I've gotten 2 calls while I was on this one that it picked up.
All right.
Yeah.
So I put it on the chat. It was just I saw the tool was great.
Oh, yeah.
I say I will have use for this tool for my customers eventually.
You put it in chat already? I didn't see
Um,
it. Oh,
I did put
no,
the link there.
that's a good
Bridget,
point.
one more question.
Let me touch on what you just said where you said, I will have a use for this eventually. And that's so smart. And here's what I'm thinking a lot about that thought process of I will need this eventually because I am seeing so many tools being replaced. These like little tools, like third-party add-ons. I'm seeing all of these being replaced by other AI, even Manus or ChatGPT or HighLevel, all of them being replaced with that. So I have a little sneaky feeling that if you think in the future you would probably use something like this, chances are there's going to be something else that replaces it or something that's better by the time you get to that point. So this is again why I'm always talking about the shiny ball syndrome and how, man, it's so tempting because especially now, so many amazing things are happening, so many cool tools. But if you don't need it now, don't bother.
Gotcha. Gotcha. One
Go ahead.
more question, and you've been with me for a while, so take Rick and I'll get back to you.
Are you sure?
Sure. I'll have one more. It's just a general question.
Okay.
So let's go with Rick.
Okay.
Well, mine is real short, but if you hadn't done it yet, when you log into any chat GPT that you've been using, just ask it, what do you know about me? It's amazing.
Yeah. Oh man. You know what? Let's do a little experiment here. Okay. Because now I'm curious about this. Because that's good what
We're
you
going to
just said.
Manus.
I'm gonna do a little test here. And I am going to ask Manus and I'm gonna ask ChatGPT that same question about what do you know about me? Okay. And I'm just gonna see the different responses here. What do you know about? So I'm gonna ask ChatGPT. I'm gonna go to Manus and let's see what happens. Based on our conversation, you're Bridget, automation coach. You specialize in helping agency owners. You shared a deeply personal side of your story with your mother's passing. You're working on a book about your life. Okay, so that's like generic information that really it pulled from my knowledge base. But let's see this. All right. All right. As an AI agent, I don't have a personal memory. Okay, so here's the difference. This is pulling from my knowledge base about me, the knowledge base that you can store up here in your chat GPT area. This is pulling strictly from the internet, and it's even saying, I don't have a personal memory or knowledge base about you unless you shared it in our current conversation. So that's important to note as well. So it's recalling 20 of the knowledge, I guess, from here, but it's saying it's gathered information about your business based on our previous interactions and the knowledge. So it's using that as well. Business operations, you run My Vision Agency and employ a 1 hour a day system. It's actually a 4 hour day, but it's actually giving like links. Your HighLevel funnel builder is located here, online presence and community. So it's pulling my Facebook group, my X profile, LinkedIn, even my LinkedIn business page. YouTube schedule involves publishing new videos. So you guys can see like it's now having my branding preference. It's giving me completely different outputs here. This is fairly generic. This is like a deep research of me online. So when people ask what's the difference between ChatGPT and Manus and like why is it different, that's the type of output that I'm referring to. It's like ChatGPT will just give you like information and like text, but Manus will I actually told it last night, study my YouTube channel and give me a growth strategy to double my views in the next 30 days. So it said, great, give me the link to your YouTube channel. So I gave it, and then it was watching videos. And it even told me, I'm watching videos, I'm going through your video descriptions, I'm checking like your views and keywords, and your channel is mostly about this. And it was crazy the things that it was able to give me that ChatGPT just doesn't go that in depth about.
I feel like one of the things that you're saying on a subconscious level is if we're just starting out and we need a very clean, easy, basic step to do, here is ChatGPT. It's going to give you the foundation of what you're trying to use it for, learn it, blah, blah, blah. But when you're ready for a next level, here is a more advanced tool. That's what it sounds like. And those
Yeah.
of us or some of my clientele who are more seasoned, they're probably going to be mind blown just by what ChatGPT gives them for what they're trying to start out doing. And then for the other people And those who I would actually probably work for is where I would want to use in the done for you area is where I would want to focus more on Manus, because giving them more details or a greater depth of value of what I'm able to provide them. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing two different levels here on some form.
Yes, and more than that. So we have the AI, right? And then we have what's called an AI agent. Okay. And that's really the new thing. That's really what's like causing craziness in the world, right? Because the AI agent doesn't just give you information. It does things, right? If you ask ChatGPT to study my YouTube channel, it's going to like probably not even know what to do. I should test that. It might not even know what to do. It's certainly not going to watch a video. It doesn't have the capabilities of doing that, right? But if you ask Manus, because Manus is an actual computer, right? It's not just scouring information and then regurgitating that information to you like ChatGPT. Manus is actually going out reading articles. It's watching YouTube videos. It will actually take your idea and create a full-blown website and slides for a presentation and all of these things that something has to be created. And that's really the difference between ChatGPT, which is informational, versus like Manus that is actually creating things. And Manus is not the only tool like that. There's lots. If you look up AI agent, you'll find a lot of information about it. There's lots of AI agents that are being created. You can actually create your own AI agents using a software like N8N, which is, if you imagine Make or Zapier had a baby, and then you can turn that into this complete operational thing where it's like, let's say you add a video to a YouTube playlist and then it sends it to NAN, and then it will spin that in ChatGPT, and then it'll create like a short form video using stock or whatever, and then it'll create a template for a long form YouTube video, and then it'll send an email to your list, and then it will like just do all of these like things that have to be like tasks that need completed. And that's the game changer. It's AI with the action added to it is what an AI agent would be. And what's
Yeah.
really cool is you can create your own AI agents even using ChatGPT, in the sense that you can say, create like using Manus, like I just showed you guys how to do for that 3-plan GPT. Say, I want to create a GPT that is an expert in all things SEO and how to implement that into a high-level website, because you want to be super specific, right? So you can create an agent. It can give you the prompt. It can give you all of those knowledge files, just like I just showed you. And now that is like an employee that you hired for your business that specializes in SEO. So if you want to provide that as a service, you can easily do that just by copying and pasting, and now, or even just you can charge access to your SEO agent, or include that in your community, so that at any point your paying clients can just go to, and it doesn't cost you anything, right? It's, if they're using their own ChatGPT account, that's their own credits and all that. It's not costing you anything. You can just create this like entire team of experts without spending any money and create massive value for your clients at the same time.
24 hours a day.
I know, it's crazy.
So question, and that's on creating the GPTs and then making those available. When you're saying that creating your own agent, then that would be separate. So then it would be separate costs associated with creating the agent, because I'm assuming you have to do OpenAI or something like that, or how does that
Yeah,
work?
agents get a little complicated when you're building them out. You really,
I can't believe I was able to ask that question. Continue. I said, who said that?
it's, if you think about it, kind of like what Martina said, it's ChatGPT is the basics. So you get the basics down, and that's really good. And if you're not at a point where you need agents, again, this is one of these things, just know it's possible. And then when you're ready for that, now Charles and Martina, I know you guys already have your own custom
need 3 of them.
GPTs created. Yeah, I
I
know.
need 3 of them.
Yeah.
I need
So
3 agents.
you're so familiar with this process and what's possible that, and you have the foundational knowledge now, that if you were to create an NAN or NAN account or something like that to start build, you would probably have enough knowledge to get you through that process without a lot of pulling your hair out in frustration. But there are also tons of videos from people that are way smarter than I am that are teaching NAN, which is probably one of the most advanced ways of creating, and maybe, I don't know, advanced really, probably not the most advanced, probably the easiest way to create that type of a system where you have all of these agents working for you. But yeah, if you have that foundational knowledge and you're ready to start diving into those agents, we're on the brink of explosion with AI agents. So it's definitely something that we're going to be learning, and I'll be teaching more about for sure.
That's awesome. I appreciate that.
It's really exciting. I'm on this goal, man. I want to start pumping out of this program multi-millionaire solopreneurs.
Yes.
Okay, go have a team. If you want to build a multi-million-dollar agency and have a team and you want to manage your team and work 24 hours a day, feel free to do that. But if you want to learn how to have a multi-million-dollar business as a solopreneur with no team and start implementing AI and agents and all of these things and work 4 hours a day, this is the place for you, because that's what I'm fascinated about. This Maria.
Just a quick one. When you keep saying a custom GPT, what is that? Is that just having the prompts? Can you explain that a little bit more?
Oh, sister.
I'm still behind a little.
There's a training, check out the training in the community, but a custom GPT, let me actually get into the back end here and I'll show you what it looks like. I just realized the time. I'm sorry, I'm keeping you guys here. I'll show you this and then we'll see for the weekend.
We're all fascinated by this, it looks like.
Whatever do you mean keeping us here?
I asked Gemini. I asked Gemini and it said I needed Python, and I said I already have it.
Okay, so the custom GPT it's what I just showed about like the MVA plan strategist, Maria. But when you create it, and you have to have the paid chat GPT plan to create a custom GPT. But let me show you the back end here. You just click create it, okay? And then you have your instructions, which is the prompt. And then you have these conversation starters. And then you can add files here it's basically the knowledge or the database where all of the information that your custom GPT is going to be pulling from. So like in this example, we had the play terms, high-level MAP policy, the rebilling guide, and information about My Vision Agency, all of these things in this chat. I could even create like conversation starters. But the goal here is to use this, and you'll see like you can go to, let me get in here where I was. So the goal is, if I wanted to create a new chat, I could just go back here. So this is the front end of what I just showed you the back end of. Okay, so this is that custom GPT that I created. So that was the back end, and this is what everybody else sees. So I can build that for you guys, and then all you have to do is come in here and click help me create my plans, and then it asks you some questions and then builds all of this out for you. So that's what a custom GPT is.
Okay. That's what that notebook LM, you can add a lot of data like that. And while you were talking, by the way, I asked GPT to create a 30-day YouTube growth plan for me. And I don't know if it looked at it, but I know it created something.
Good. Now, see the difference, because I asked ChatGPT that and I asked Manus that. The difference in the two outputs is ChatGPT gives me informational stuff, and that's cool that I could use. It's generic or universal. But Manus will go to your YouTube channel. It will research the channel. It will research other people's channels, articles about growth strategies and all of that. And it has reasoning capabilities that will take all of those different pieces of information that it has researched for you, and it will compile a plan that is specific for you. And then of course it could create a website, a presentation, whatever it wants from that info. So it's just a much deeper analysis than ChatGPT.
It's great. Stuff is great.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, but did you guys see that robot that went out of control and was beating up the developer in China or somewhere?
I did see that. I never know how true some of that stuff is, but
Right, exactly.
it looks pretty crazy. I want to spin the wheel though, you guys, before we go.
So while you're spinning the wheel, I just want to say I freaked out earlier when Mello went crazy because he was right by my microphone. And when you said you couldn't hear anything, and I think even Manolo said in the chat, we can't hear that. I was sitting, Charles just shook his head. Like I was sitting here freaking out because I'm like, I know this is tearing up her recording. She is going to have to cut all of this out. And when you guys said you couldn't hear it, I was like, yay for NVIDIA. Thank you, like noise suppression through StreamYard or Zoom or whatever. I'm sitting over here cheering because most of the time I'm trying to target when I'm doing my recordings to when the kids are at work or when the long guy's not here, or I'm trying to figure out when I'm going to get these recordings done. And I'm sitting here, you mean to tell me this 100-pound lab mastiff was sitting in this room with me, yelling, screaming at the top of his lungs because my door was pulled up. Okay, he couldn't get out of the room to go downstairs. And you mean to tell me you all couldn't hear any of that?
Nope.
Not a darn thing.
That is,
Now
I'm
you
sitting here like I am getting ready to go on a record frenzy. My daughter was standing in here. She was trying to get him out the room. Y'all couldn't hear any of that. Because he has this very thick tail and it normally hits up against the desk, the door. Y'all couldn't hear none of that?
Nope. Mm-mm.
Wow.
I know. And you now like my excitement. I know you've heard me tell the
He's
story about
huge.
using CRISP before.
Yes.
And how I was in this webinar, I was presenting to 500,000 people, and Amazon shows up, and my little dogs are like, "Bark, bark, bark, bark," and I'm like, I'm so sorry, you guys. Like, I'm panicked and sweating in the meeting. Like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And then after the meeting, they're like, what were you talking about that you were sorry? I was like, oh, when my dogs were barking, oh, I was freaking out. They're like, we didn't hear anything. So I was like,
Yeah, I
I love
completely
Chris.
lost my train of thought. I was like, what did she ask me? What was I answering? This is going to be a horrible recording for her. This dog is having a fit. Like, he's like huge,
Now
heavy,
we
and he
see
barks
him,
and it shakes
Martina.
the whole everything.
We have to meet him, Martina.
Oh, yeah. If he comes back upstairs before yeah, I'll definitely let him hop up here real quick. I
Okay.
think she put him outside.
You guys let me know if I did not call your name. Okay. We have Martina, Charles, Frankie, Keith, Manolo, Maria, and Rick. Did I miss anyone? Going once, twice. All right, here we go. All right. So whoever wins this gets a free private consultation with me, and it looks like it's Manolo. Yay! I haven't met with you in a while, Manolo.
Congrats, congrats.
Team, about time.
Yay!
Thank you
All right.
much.
I will send you the link when we're done here. Did you guys have anything else that you need to ask me before we go for the weekend?
Can you ask Matt the lottery numbers for this week?
Oh, smart. Oh, maybe I could ask it to create an, oh man, I shouldn't announce this publicly. I should just create this myself. I was going to say create an algorithm or some type of a tool that will help predict the next lottery numbers.
You have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Have an awesome weekend, you guys. Go make your vision a reality. Bye.